Your Revelstoke Mayor Report with Mayor Mark McKee. That's more exciting.
Hey, Sean, how you doing? Milo, morning.
So, Mark, you've had a fun-filled week of Silga.
And it still continues.
I thought maybe you might give us the highlight recap.
Silga, which is the Southern Ontario Local Government Association, it's a regional meetings of municipal councillors, regional district staff. They pick a community every year to have their convention, and they're here in Revelstoke now. And of course, you look outside, beautiful. The week's been unbelievable, and we've been trapped in sessions. But everybody gets out. They have a little walk around. We sent everybody out on lunch on the town on Wednesday, and so they go to different restaurants, and that was good. We had an opening pub night at the Regent, and then we had a welcome reception up at the resort at the mid-station. They've had tours of the Railway Museum and the dam tour, Monashee Craft Distillery, and I can tell you is that the comments from these people that are visiting here, some for their very first time, are just blown away with the town. The town, as usual, has opened their arms and greeted these people and really made them feel at home and welcome. And a guy came to me last night and says, "Hey, I bought a pair of shoes," and I went, "Okay, good. Don't tell your retailer in your town," but but that's what this is all about. And you're networking, you're finding out what's working in other communities, and then of course there's the sessions and vacation rentals and short-term rentals, affordable housing, cannabis legalization. These are all big hot topics that people are concerned about. The province, the BC government and Alberta butting heads over the Trans Mountain Pipeline, is a concern for a lot of people. Kupke Chief Wayne Christian up from Splat Scene, and he gave a session on the whys and wheres of protocol agreements. And Chief Wayne, he's a great guy, and it's part of being in municipal government is meeting and working with First Nations, and these are all the things that is going on. So it's just not all fun and games. It's there's a lot of work going on. For example, we're all looking at each other on how best to tackle vacation rental, and everybody's doing it a little bit different. Some are doing it very similar. Some are doing it exactly the same, and they're sharing their experiences the same as they're talking about the cannabis. Some people think that what we've done, which is we've set in motion to stop cannabis sales in all zones so that when it becomes legal, it's not a free-for-all. And the community is looking at it going, wow, that's a really good idea. And lots of communities are doing it so that you have control. Cannabis gets legalized on July 1st. It may or may not on that date. I'm not sure how organized the feds are, but then it becomes a legal business. And then we have areas that are legally zoned for retail. You have to give people a business license. So we could end up overnight with 10 of them. I don't think that that's what the community wants. We're going to go through a public hearing on the zoning amendment bylaw, zoning amendment being shutting down cannabis sales, and we're going to listen to the public. And then we're going to look at what the province and the feds are putting in for stipulations and rules and regulations. We're going to take that back into consideration. We will then have another zoning amendment bylaw where we will allow cannabis sales in certain zones, certain areas, and that's part of the process of listening to the public. But it'll be things like, I'm sure, we don't want anything within 100 meters of a school. We don't want it within 100 meters of a playground. We don't want it these are the kind of rules and regulations that you can put into a zoning bylaw. So these are the kind of things that we're talking about. I'm spending a little bit of time on cannabis, but it's a big deal in a lot of communities, and people are really concerned of what's going to happen.
All right, well, I was going to ask you a few questions about planning department and where the permits are at, but then I thought I'd just offer you this glass of molasses here.
We're short-staffed. We have too many applications coming in. Some of the rules are changing, which is creating a little consternation. We're well aware what's going on and what's not going on, and we're concerned, and we're meeting, we're talking about it, we're looking at what we can do. The biggest problem right now is the building inspector, and we got a guy 2 days a week that is coming to an end. So we have to get that position filled. We've already put in the budget for another position like that. Apparently, we have a couple on a short list that are being looked at right now. So we are well aware of the situation, and I don't really have much more to tell you other than we're well aware of the situation. Staff are well aware of it. Council's well aware of it. It's not the position that we wanted to be in at this time of the year after having difficulties last year.
about what's going on with Three Valley Gap more than most. So with that being said, you know about the letter campaign that Shannon Smith has started and what she's requesting and wants from the community. Shannon's calling for the community to write letters of support about it, as well as their theories and opinions on it.
Which is not dissimilar from what we did years ago when there was that tragic bus truck accident in the past in one of the tunnels. Getting the politicians to pay attention to what's going on, getting them to change their attitude about doing something. So it's the political will. And the best way to do that, I think, is that I can jump up and down and scream and yell all I want. Well, okay, mayor, small town BC, they'll listen to me. Doug is doing a great job of keeping this in the forefront, but I can tell you is that a letter writing campaign and emailing from everyday citizens is one of the most effective things that you can do. And especially if they start getting hundreds of them and thousands of them. And that's what we did years ago. We had people right across the country that were ready. And so I really encourage people to take the few minutes and send it to the Minister of Transport, Premier Horgan, Claire Trevena, the Minister of Highways for BC. It's the best thing that we as a community can do. This is a real big deal, and it's a big concern, and it's only a matter of time before something extremely serious happens, and nobody wants that. The ministry has already contacted myself and staff again. They want to come up here and meet with us, and I don't remember what the date is, but I know that it's coming up within the next few weeks. People that are listening, letter writing campaign is really good, and good on you, Shannon, for taking this thing on and really pushing it, because that's what it needs.
All right, well, Mark, you have to go because you have to get warmed up, prepared, and get your vocals ready because you've got a presentation.
I have a presentation to do, yes.
Previous Mayor Jeff Battersby about the boom bust boom.
Boom bust boom economy of Revelstoke. So we're going to talk about the history of and what we did as a community to break that cycle of boom and bust. I think it's a really good story, and a lot of these people that come here, they come here to have a look at what we've done over the years. And a day like today, the town looks pretty darn good, and people are pretty impressed. And they're impressed by the community, all the people, because it's the people here that actually decided and did it.
That's true. We are pretty awesome.
We are awesome.
Thanks, Mark.
Thanks, Sean. Thanks, Malop.